In 1959, the Chinese famine officially began. It was the worst self-inflicted, man-made disaster in human history by far, taking the lives of 15 to 60 million Chinese, occupying second place in number of deaths after World War II's 70 to 85 million casualties. The reason behind this famine is the disastrous policies of the Great Leap Forward. Following the Great Famine of 1959, the Communist Party of China decided that the reason behind the famine was overpopulation. This was justified by constant food shortages. And so, they decided to engage in population control by limiting every couple to one child, officially adopting the one-child policy in 1971. And, with the memory of the Great Famine fresh in their minds, they brutally enforced the policy. Now that the population has successfully decreased, the government wants to sustain the current number and stop it from declining further, since the ruling party prioritizes economic growth, which struggles with a shrinking workforce and an aging population. So, they changed it to the two-child policy in 2016. However, the numbers in front of you show that the two-child policy is not working. Some of the most popular reasons that are provided in an attempt to explain the lack of success are economic-based. I'll explain them in this video. Raising a 2-year-old in China swallows at least a third of a middle-class family's annual income. Comparatively, in the US, it costs a similarly positioned family a fifth of their income to raise a child. It's believed that this is a major reason why the Communist Party is struggling to boost the country's birth rate. China's population growth slowed in 2018 with 15.23 million live births, a decline of 2 million from the year before, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. More than 50% of families have no intention of having a second child, according to a 2017 study, and cost is one of the main reasons. More than 240 million Chinese were over 60 years old in 2017, official figures reveal. That's more than 17% of the population. The figure is forecast to rise to a third of the population by 2050. Or 480 million people. By 2030, it is believed that the country's population will be shrinking, fueling fears that China will get old before it gets rich. Parents and experts say the cost of raising a child in China has risen sharply as living standards in the country have improved and public trust in domestic products has weakened. Some parents, for example, never buy a Chinese brand of baby formula for their child, opting for expensive imported foreign brands. In 2008, tainted Chinese baby milk killed at least 6 babies and caused kidney stones and urinary tract problems in hundreds of thousands of children. That scandal still haunts many parents in China to this day. Some parents don't even trust local food. Their children eat imported food only, like beef, cod, and salmon. Education and entertainment costs are also a serious drain. Until the 1990s, most people in China used public education, which was free or had a minimal cost. But now, education has become a big industry. Chinese families have always stressed the importance of studying at a young age. The one-child policy further focused parents' attention on their single offspring, causing them to invest even more in education. The competition to get into good schools is very keen, so parents are very serious and put high pressure on their children to compete. Many parents also worry that the basic government-funded medical care is inadequate to cover severe ailments. Finding a good doctor is not good enough. You still have to present the medical professional with a bribe, cash stuffed in a red envelope, to ensure your child gets the best care. China has one of the worst doctor-to-patient ratios among developed nations, and the overstretched public health system can require patients to bribe for quality treatment. Authorities have offered subsidies to parents having a second child, such as financial assistance for baby formula, and maternity leave has been extended. Now, there are rumors that Beijing may ditch birth limits altogether in an attempt to further boost the birth rates. Now, I would argue that all the reasons listed in this video are wrong. China is not the only country that's suffering from population decline. Europe is also suffering from population decline, while not having any of the problems listed above. The same is true with Japan and the US. However, the high amount of immigration that the US regularly receives offsets this decline. But why did I tell you all of these reasons if they are wrong? Well, that's because a lot of people believe that these are the reasons. And this is their argument, which is convincing for many uninformed people. This leads to the adoption of solutions that don't produce results, which is what's happening in Japan right now. In short, the reason is not financial, it's social. I'll tell you the reason in part 2, so you have to click like and subscribe. Also, this is a new channel, so consider supporting me on Patreon. See you in the next video. Goodbye.